Someone to keep eyes on you. Teach you never to be too careful.
Stolen from my servers, stolen from me. $11 million. Which means you sold it to everyone. This is my reputation. This is my standing. You make me look like a
con man.
Tell me.
Hey, I pick up the phone.
Are you?
Nicky!
You're next, honey.
Look, are you crazy?
Look at me. It's okay.
This is your mess.
Hello, recappers. Today's movie starts with a con man named Nicky Spurgeon walking into a bar in New York City. There, he notices a beautiful young blonde woman being bothered by a man. She quickly leaves the man and sits at Nicky's table, pretending to know him. Her name is Jess. After sharing a few drinks, Jess convinces Nicky to go up to her hotel room. They start making out, but suddenly, a man bursts in with a gun and threatens Nicky. Jess says the man is her husband. Nicky isn't fooled. He jokes that he has cancer, which makes Jess realize he knows they're trying to scam him. He tells them their trick was terrible and explains how they should have done it if they really wanted to rob him, then walks out. Still curious, Nicky later finds Jess outside the hotel and invites her for coffee. He tells her a story about a scam involving his father and grandfather. In that con, one of them had to shoot the other to make it look like they weren't working together. The trick was called the Toledo panic button. Jess asks Nicky to teach her how to con people. He agrees and tells her that conning is all about focus. Outside, Nicky explains that people's attention is like a spotlight, and their job is to stay in the shadows. He says the human brain is slow and can't do many things at once. While talking, Nicky secretly steals small items from Jess to prove his point. Then he wishes her good luck and walks away. Nicky then takes his operation to New Orleans with his friend Horst and his team of grifters. On a side note, Nicky has a gambling problem, as shown when he loses money betting on a horse race. Jess finds Nicky a few days later after doing some research on him. She asks to join his crew. Nicky agrees to test her and immediately introduces her to Horst. He already knew Jess was coming. It's Super Bowl week, and the city is packed. Jess joins the team for a practice round. They guide her through crowded streets, swiping watches, purses, and other valuables from unsuspecting people. Nicky is impressed and allows her to join. They take her to a hotel casino, where they reveal even more elaborate scams like identity theft and credit card forgery. They even set up fake ATMs to record PIN codes. Jess meets Farhad, Nicky's partner. Farhad is involved in even more complicated schemes. He practically ignores Jess's presence, asking inappropriate questions about her, including whether Nicky will be tapping that, because he certainly would. Despite his crassness, Jess still finds Farhad amusing. Back at their base, while explaining how they split profits from the stolen data, Jess notices a necklace she likes. Nicky tells her that everything they steal must be sold. No keeping souvenirs that can be traced. When Jess asks if they ever do a big con, one so lucrative they can retire afterward, Nicky tells her they're in the bulk business, and that big scams are a fantasy. Later, Nicky asks for a stack of cash to bid at a racetrack. While the money is being counted, he gets Jess a place to stay. When she asks for a ride, he tells her to take a cab. He emphasizes that there should be no romantic relationship between them. However, sometime later, he shows up at her room anyway, and they sleep together. Jess asks Nicky why some people call him mellow. He says it's because his father once told him he was soft like a marshmallow. Nicky believes there's no room for emotion in this business. It can get you killed. The night before the big game, after all the cheating is done, Nicky congratulates his team on a record-breaking week that earned $1.2 million. He sends everyone home with a promise to send them their cut. Horst hands Nicky the money and makes him promise not to gamble it. Nicky agrees, as Jess watches. Nicky and Jess attend the football game. Jess admits she doesn't like football, so Nicky suggests they make small bets for fun, like guessing if a fan will catch a hot dog or if another will be too drunk to stand during the wave. They see a woman in short shorts and bet on how many men will look at her as she walks by. Jess guesses 8. Nicky says 3. A man named Mr. Luyan joins in and bets 5. 7 men stare. Jess wins. Luyan suggests they bet on the actual game. Jess declines, unfamiliar with football, but Nicky accepts and bets $1,000. He loses. When Nicky wants to stop, Luyan encourages him to keep playing. Nicky agrees reluctantly and raises the bet, but loses again. The stakes escalate. After losing $100,000, Jess shoves the bag of money into Nicky's arms and urges him to stop. Instead, he bets the rest of the money, $1.1 million, on a high card draw. Leon draws a 5. Nicky grins, confident, until he flips over a 3. He loses everything. Jess is in shock. Nicky stands frozen. Leon taunts him. That's what you get for playing with the big boys. Then, Nicky does something crazy. He offers to double the bet. He tells Liu Yan to choose any player on the field, and Jess will guess which one. Liu Yan declines, thinking Nicky is insane. But Nicky ups the offer. Jess will pick the player he saw, essentially giving Liu Yan a free bet. Leon can't resist. Jess scans the players with binoculars, panicked. Leon gives them a chance to back out. Nicky silently begs her to walk away. She looks again and spots Farhad wearing a jersey with number 55. She smiles and picks him. Everyone is stunned. It's the correct answer. On the cab ride back, Nicky, now flush with money, tells Jess it was all planned. He knew Liu Yan was a compulsive gambler, so he arranged for Liu Yan to see the number 55 repeatedly throughout the day, on hotel room doors, jerseys, signs, subconsciously planting it in his mind. Then Nicky has the cab pull over, and another car stops behind them. He tells the driver to take Jess to the airport. He leaves her with her share of the money and drives off without another word. Jess is left confused and heartbroken. 3 years later, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Nicky is working with billionaire race car owner Rafael Garriga and his partner, Owens. They have developed a revolutionary new fuel burn algorithm that promises to give them a major advantage in the upcoming racing season. However, Rafael is worried that this won't be enough. Therefore, Nicky is to pose as a disgruntled former employee of Rafael and sell a fake version of the algorithm to another team owner, McEwen, his biggest competitor. As a result, the competition slows down while Rafael's team gets faster. Nicky attends a party at Rafael's mansion. He instructs the bartender to serve him water whenever he orders vodka on the rocks since he's an alcoholic, to give the impression that he's getting drunk. Nicky mingles with the guests, but when he goes to confront Rafael as part of his plan, he freezes. Jess is coming down the stairs in a stunning red dress. She kisses Rafael, much to Nicky's dismay. He approaches Jess, and she assures him that she's doing fine on her own and has moved on from the deceitful con game. Looking dejected, Nicky heads for a drink, but another bartender, having heard about his drinking problem, serves him water instead. After getting drunk on appletinis, Nicky plays the part of a disgruntled employee. But instead of just shoving Rafael, he punches him in the face, venting his pent-up anger over Jess. Owens escorts Nicky out of the party, but Nicky is then approached by one of McEwen's guards, who gives him McEwen's credentials and invites him to lunch. The next day, during lunch with McEwen, Nicky finds it hard to concentrate. He's irritated and distracted by Jess, who's flirting with Rafael nearby. McEwen and Nicky agree to reconnect once they have definitive proof that the algorithm is real. Later, Nicky approaches Jess when she's momentarily away from Rafael and warns her not to trust him. She turns it around, asking why she should trust Nicky after he abandoned her. As she walks away, she tosses him his wallet, hinting that her skills are still sharp. Nicky successfully convinces McEwen to buy the fake algorithm for 3 million euros, supported by data that makes it seem credible. He then spends time trying to get close to Jess again, even resorting to cheap tricks, like using a fake old lady who loses her handbag, just to get her attention. Jess tells Nicky exactly what he wants to hear in a flirtatious tone. Just before a kiss, she whispers, "I've learned a lot since we last met, and I'd love to show you, like how I learned to play men the way I just played you." She tells him to stay away. She's not falling for his nonsense again. As a last resort, Nicky brings in Farhad to convince Jess to give him a second chance and apologize for New Orleans. Farhad gives her the necklace she admired 3 years ago. Later, Nicky and Jess talk again. He tells her he hasn't worked in years because nothing felt right, and that he even turned to his father for help. Jess cuts to the chase. "What do you want from me?" Nicky says he's changed, but Jess struggles to believe him. He's a con man after all. Jess walks away but is followed. When Nicky returns to his hotel suite, he finds Jess sitting by the door. They make love. The next morning, Nicky tells her he's leaving that night and wants her to come with him. Just then, Owens arrives at the door. Nicky tries to send him away, but Owens walks in while Jess hides out of sight. Owens rants about the younger generation and Nicky's lack of progress while pacing around the room, seemingly searching for someone. Jess slips out to the balcony and manages to avoid being seen. Owens finally leaves after dropping off a package. Later, Nicky sells Raphael's real algorithm, not just to McEwen, but to every racing team, all at the same price. He wishes them luck and gets the same response. Who needs luck with friends like you? This earns him a total of 27 million euros in cash. Nicky receives word that he's been found out, but he hesitates to leave without Jess. As time runs out, he grabs his bags and opens the door. Jess is there. Sorry I'm late. Meanwhile, one of McEwen's guards makes a suspicious purchase at a shop. The cashier gives him a strange look. After a quick meal, the guard checks his watch, buckles his seatbelt, puts on protective gear, and crashes his car into Nicky's vehicle. Jess and Nicky are kidnapped and taken to one of Raphael's warehouses, their mouths duct taped shut. It turns out Raphael had planted a spy in McEwen's camp to monitor Nicky. Raphael confronts Nicky, saying he knows about the 3 million euros deal with McEwen, but now there's 27 million euros in the bags, which tells him Nicky sold the algorithm to everyone. He demands to know how Nicky got the real algorithm. When Nicky doesn't answer, Raphael holds Jess's nose until Nicky panics and confesses that he used her. He placed a bug on her necklace, and when she returned to Raphael's room, it intercepted his computer password. Jess begins to cry. Raphael laughs and takes the tape off Jess's mouth. Jess tells Nicky that Raphael was never her boyfriend. She only wanted his expensive watch, which costs 200,000 euros. She says she never slept with Raphael or even went into his room, even though he kept trying. Jess says she only did it to make Nicky jealous and to get back at him. Nicky finally agrees to tell the truth, but before he can say anything, Owens shoots him in the chest. Raphael is shocked and runs away. It looks like Nicky is dying. Jess cries and tells him she loves him, but then Owens says he shot Nicky in a safe spot. He missed the important arteries, though he did hit a lung. Owens removes the blood from Nicky's lung and saves his life. Then Owens calls Nicky Mellow. Jess suddenly realizes that Owens is Nicky's father, Bucky Spurgeon, and he was part of the scam the whole time. They had just pulled off the famous trick called the Toledo panic button. The package Owens gave Nicky earlier had the real algorithm inside. Owens drives Nicky and Jess to the hospital. On the way, he reminds Nicky of what he once said about never putting your heart into a con and tells him he's keeping all the money. As Jess helps Nicky walk into the hospital, Nicky smiles when he sees Jess wearing Garriga's expensive watch. And that's how our story ends. What did you think about the ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown.